this is such an important topic. And in our Patreon group the other night, we had a live and we were discussing facing fears. We were all talking about we were going to name a fear we needed to face, and we were going to work on eliminating that fear. And this topic came up because the fear of being vulnerable and allowing people in came about. And several of the people in that group said, well, we're afraid of going out and making really close friendships because we're afraid of getting hurt. And that really resonated with me because when I thought about it, I thought, yeah, you know what? I have a lot of friends, but I only have a few that are really, really close that I would consider people I would share my deepest, darkest thoughts with because I don't trust a lot of people. And I said, one thing I think is really hard if you're an empath and you're highly sensitive, it's hard to make friends sometimes because you can see people's true energy. You can see their true intentions, and it's not always good. So I think that's one reason. But I found this really, really amazing article, and it talks about the fear of rejection. And so after reading it, I thought I really need to do a podcast episode about this because it's just an amazing topic. And when we were talking in our Patreon group about it, I thought, oh my gosh, this showed up just in time. It literally fell into my lap 2 days after we were talking about it. And I know it's something that everyone needed to hear. So the thing is, when you have a fear of rejection, oftentimes we overread situations. So one of the first things you have to ask yourself, because this is really important, you have to ask yourself, and we need to know the difference between being rejected and feeling like we're rejected. Because oftentimes as kids, we felt like we were being rejected when we really weren't. Our parents might have been busy and they didn't have time to sit down with us for something. We weren't really being rejected. I mean, our parents didn't say like, I don't love you and I'm rejecting you, but that's what it felt like to us as kids. And so we might have experienced a sense of shame or sadness. Maybe you've experienced this as an adult. Maybe you meet somebody new and you want to see if they're free to go grab a drink or something. And then maybe they say, oh, I can't. And you take that as rejection. Oh, this person doesn't really want to hang around with me. But maybe this person is a mom and they're really busy and they've got all of these things going on. It doesn't necessarily mean they don't want to be around you, but perhaps you're perceiving it and you're feeling extremely vulnerable and sensitive to this. Oftentimes, neutral responses from people or neutral reactions are perceived as rejection because neutrality indicates that, oh, well, this person isn't really that interested in me. They don't really value my friendship. And that's often not the case, too. So if somebody responds to you in anything other than enthusiasm, you take it as rejection. And I have a perfect example for this because when I was dating someone one time, he would text me and say, hey, do you want to go grab dinner on Friday? And I would say, sure. I would just type sure, and that was it. And in my mind, I was saying, sure. And in his mind, he was reading it as a text as sure. And there was a huge difference. So